Independent film isn't a career ladder, it's a house of cards. You spend years building it, and one breath of bad luck can flatten the whole thing.
And we had our lead actor who was getting us other connections to other actors for other roles. And that actor got deported. So suddenly we were like, this is are we going to just have to drop the actor? But at the same time, like, that country did away with its film fund, which meant the financing fell apart.
That isn't a worst-case scenario. That is a Tuesday in independent film. Today, we're breaking down why the system is designed to break and why keeping your day job might actually be the only way to save your art. I recently sat down with an independent producer who has done it all, from being a PA to raising financing and development. We talked about the reality check that film school often skips. You see, we often think if we just work hard enough, the industry will support us. But the structural reality is a bit more cynical. We're going to look at the merry-go-round trap, the financial myth of the production company, and why festivals still do matter. Let's start with the structure. Why is it so hard to get a yes? You probably heard this before. You need money to get stars, but you need stars to get money. It's kind of like a closed loop. In our conversation, we broke down exactly how this trap functions.
And a lot of times you can't get those pieces in place until you have distribution set up. It's the old...
A big merry-go-round.
Yeah, it was the old joke about, people would be willing to sign on for money if you have bankable stars in it. Bankable stars are willing to sign on if you have money attached to it. And it's just like, okay, And the same thing with distribution. It's like, well, we'll sign on once you have money and stars in place. It's like, yeah, but neither one of them want to come on until we have distribution in place. So but that's everyone making film.
Breaking that loop requires immense leverage, and even when you do break it, even when you think you have the package secure, it is incredibly fragile. This is where the house of cards analogy really hits home. My guest shared a story about a project that was greenlit, scouted, and ready to go, and then in 48 hours, two completely unrelated disasters struck at once.
Some cast, we'd maybe start looking at locations, and then one part of that would fall apart, and we'd have to start all over again. And then we'd get it set up again and start moving in a direction, and then all the stuff we'd set up would fall apart, and we'd have to start
was it like a finance thing, or was it just actors? What was falling apart?
So one time it was the financing that we had secured. The company that was going to finance it and co-produce the movie went bankrupt. Just out of nowhere, boom, it was gone. And we're like, well, dodged a bullet, because that could have happened while we were in the middle of production, and suddenly we wouldn't have any money. And that, because of that, all the schedule that we worked out collapsed. And so all of we didn't have the whole cast, but all of the actor commitments we had collapsed because they had to go do, stuff that was going to pay. And another time it was, we had the financing in place. We had locations that we were already scouting, and we had our lead actor who was getting us other connections to other actors for other roles. And that actor got deported, which was where all our locations were, and where the co-financing company was based. So suddenly we were like, this is are we going to just have to drop the actor? But at the same time, like, that country did away with its film fund, which meant the financing fell apart. And so it's just like, every time is like you're always building this little house of cards.
Well, then, once you get the house of cards built, or if you can get it built, then you still got distribution that sounds like it's kind of a wild card. And
yeah, I mean, and it's one of those things where if you can get distribution set up ahead of time, you're golden. But you can't get distribution set up ahead of time unless you have all the other pieces.
If you are entering into this industry, you have to accept that you are building something that naturally wants to fall down. I want to know, for those of you who've tried to produce something, what was the weirdest reason your project stalled? Can anyone beat lead actor deported? Let me know in the comments below. Now let's talk about your wallet. There is a romantic notion that once you start a production company, the company sustains you. You make a film, it sells, you use the profits to live on while you make the next one. I asked Richard point blank, does the production company actually pay the bills? Hey folks, let me break in for just a second and send a shout out to my friends over at OBA or One Brilliant Arc. I'm not getting paid for this or anything at all. These are just really great people. They have been helping me edit my upcoming screenplay, A Good Man. Now, if you want to learn a little bit more about that, kind of get a sneak peek as to what A Good Man is about, head on over to their podcast or their YouTube video here. I'll put the links in the description below, and you can check them out. And if you need any editing services, give these guys a try. They're pretty darn awesome. Now back to our show.
Yeah, it's tough. For a bunch of years in the middle there, we were completely self-sustaining. The revenues from one project, kept us going until the next project got set up. And then when 2020 happened, that cycle was amongst the things that fell apart pretty spectacularly. But even before that, all of us involved in the company had other jobs as well that we were using to kind of keep ourselves going. And my wife actually she's completely out of the film production business, but happily, because she likes to move on from things after 5-10 years. Yeah. And she's in research compliance and has a great paycheck with benefits, which is one of the things that lets me kind of take freelance jobs and be an independent contractor.
This is crucial. There is a toxic idea that if you aren't suffering for your art, or if you aren't doing it full time, you aren't a real filmmaker. But having a steady income stream isn't selling out, it's buying your freedom. As Richard puts it, you cannot buy groceries with back-end points on a movie that doesn't even exist yet. And you shouldn't work for free, even for yourself.
Yeah, 100%. And I'd also say, as you were saying, writing's not free. And all the other jobs that go into making an independent film are not free. And it's important for the people who are real passionate about whatever project they're working on to keep that in mind for themselves. Because I did it with the first couple of short films, and I know a lot of other people that do it, that they're like, well, if I don't pay myself, then that's money that can go into the movie. And it's like, right. Yes, that's true, that's accurate, but at the end of the day, you still got to buy groceries. You still got to eat. And the film's not going to get done if you're starving to death on some level. You know what I mean? It's so...
The day job is the patron of your art. It buys you the ability to say no to bad deals because you aren't desperate enough for rent money. So if the financing is a merry-go-round and the pay is unreliable, why do we do it? And does the traditional path, the film festival circuit, still matter in the age of streaming?
No, I think it is relevant because at the end of the day, the film festival circuit is still how distributors and even studios are finding new filmmakers and new films. And you can set it up on a streamer and you can have the Vimeo link out and about. But whether or not people are going to actually pay attention to that is a huge open question. Whereas even the most jaded, distribution executives still go to film festivals. Now, how many film festivals they go to, which film festivals they go to, that's impossible to answer. Yeah, that issue of, I definitely think film festivals are relevant, but not every film festival is relevant. So it's tough to figure out where to go, where to put your resources into.
Festivals provide context. The internet is a graveyard of content without that context. If you can build the house of cards and keep it standing long enough to get that recognition, the reward is massive. Folks, this was only a tiny portion of the interview that I had with Richard Moon. If you'd like to catch the whole thing, run on over to my podcast, the Light-Minded Arts Podcast, and listen to the entire interview. It was an awesome, excellent interview, and you're going to get so much out of it. And don't forget to check out this seasoned storyteller's latest book, To Conquer Death. Check out the link in the description below, visit his website, or go to wherever you buy your books. Just to recap, the industry is fragile, the financing is circular, and you will probably need a side hustle to keep the lights on. But don't let that stop you. Let that liberate you. Once you accept it's a juggling act, you stop beating yourself up for dropping a ball every now and then. You just pick it up and keep building. If you found this reality check helpful, hit the like button. It helps us keep this house of cards standing. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.